Welcome to Skol Chat with Skoda, episode 10. We are a chat group created by four guys who are a blended family, not only through the traditional familial means, but also for the love of the game, specifically for our favorite team, the Minnesota Vikings. We won't claim to be professionals, nor will we cover a lot of stats unless it is specific to the topics we will be discussing. We are just four fans who get together, basically discuss all aspects of the team, from the games, training, leases, signings, and the overall organization itself. Our name is derived from two of us who currently reside in Minnesota and two who reside deep within Packer territory. This is not our livelihoods as we, like many of you, have busy lives, and what we hope to obtain are additions to our blended family by having you become a part of it. We have room to add a couple of you at a time during our airings and would like you to join us in our chats. As with any family, there will be happy times and sad times to be discussed and experienced. Although the game may only last a season, the desire for the game and the team is year long. If you want to join us, please hit the subscribe button, follow us on YouTube, and give us either a thumbs up or a thumbs down, depending on your experience, and leave us a comment. If you'd like to join us during the show, please contact us at the email link provided below.
All right, so Skol Chat number 10. It's been a long time since we had one of these or had a discussion. So I think the autumn weather is hit us already, and I'm not happy about that.
Yeah, it's a fluke. I'm kinda happy about it.
Well, it's nice, comfortable sleeping weather. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just the 6th of September, and it's what was the high today in Minnesota? It
61
was
here.
here was 58.
Well, if
That's
you
too
were
cold. Too
58,
soon.
we probably were only like 54 or something.
Last week I was in shorts, t-shirt, and barefoot, and today was a sweatshirt and pants. Down by the river, it was colder than heck down there.
Were you in your van? Down by
No,
the
I
river?
was,
Live in a van down by the river.
I was down there fishing and catching some bluegill.
I don't think Tommy knows that. Do you know that bit, Tommy? I live in a van down by the river.
56.
It's comfortable enough outside. I pulled the chainsaws out so I can start cutting wood. I'm gonna cut wood tomorrow. No,
Bro,
no. Do you
you're
wanna
not gonna
pick it
share?
up? You can pick it up and help me put it in the pickup truck. Absolutely.
It's a bit of a trek to assist with the chainsaw.
We could run this smoker. You can smell the aroma while we're working with the wood.
Is that cedar? So I'm going to a game in November, and I was
Nice.
just looking at different sweatshirts and stuff because I want to, update the wardrobe and have actual Viking to wear. See on the hat and the old T-shirt I have, but I was looking at sweatshirt, and there's like $100 for a Viking sweatshirt.
That's crazy.
I mean, I don't even know $40 for a hat? I mean, does that even?
Seems like we're going great.
I mean, I remember like going to like the grocery store and they have the pop machine outside, and paying a quarter for like a Mountain Dew. Is this normal? Is it like, am I the only one seeing like sticker shock on prices of things anymore?
Everything's up.
Yeah, it doesn't matter where you go, the prices are jacked up. Not just like we like Folgers black silk coffee. I could get it there for a while, like $11 for a can. Last time priced them $22 for the can.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah. Then if you buy just Folgers, plain Folgers, not the black silk, that's $22.
yeah. Actually just saw that coffee did jump because I buy it every 2 to 3 weeks, and I'd actually just had to buy some today.
Yeah, even Walmart's brand, what is it, Great Value? It's $20 for a can of their coffee. So it's ridiculous, the prices. So
Yeah.
that must be the tariffs on the coffee beans coming in, I guess. I don't know.
Well, they might have stopped using the slave labor too. Who knows?
I don't know. Well, I was looking. Well, you know,
Trying
the
to get
teams
here with
got
the
to
beer
make
off
their
for
money somehow. You know, they got to add a little more to it, even though they're getting all the big money from the, you know, whoever broadcasting the games. You know,
Yep, everything's up. It's price of the games are pretty high too.
Well, we kind of talked about it too. I mean, you need like 5 to 6 different like streaming sources just to watch all the games nowadays,
Correct.
unless you have like the.
yeah.
Well, we talked about it on our last show. I guess we can call it a show. We talked about who was going to be the Mr. Mankato, and I'm not even sure if I took notes on who we. Does anyone remember who we thought would be
I thought
Mr.
we took
Mankato?
notes on it. Is it not on that paper?
Yeah, I think yeah. And then there was I think it's in the end we all kind of thought was Brosmer, but we just had to pick different names.
Yeah, yeah. I wanted him, but you guys told me I couldn't pick him.
Somebody else, I think. Yeah.
But yeah, I'm pretty sure, and well deserved.
But I think the kind of pick, not the media, you know, the big guys, but, you know, the around Minneapolis there, I think they picked, what's his name, that free agent defensive player that's on the roster. Isaiah or whatever he is.
Was
Not Rogers, but
Williams?
Williams. Yeah, I think he was picked as Mr. Mankato.
Who's your source?
That was Purple Daily.
They might have all
Well,
done there, I guess.
Speaking of sources, you have to watch because, I had saw that story on Adam Thielen and his hamstring. Well, obviously, it wasn't to the extent they made it sound in that story for sure.
Well, that there was last year. He was out because of a hamstring.
Yeah, but this was a recent story that said, with the trade, them looking at trading, picking him up for a trade made it a little more difficult because they said he had a recent hamstring injury in one of the preseason games. Obviously, that wasn't valid stories.
No, and somebody probably put that out there because I tried to look for anything about that injury and didn't come across any.
Nope. So definitely have to watch the sources we get some of our stuff from.
Well, yeah, I mean, even like the agents and even the teams, and that like you were saying, like it was probably the Panthers maybe put it out like, oh, we want to keep him at that point in time, maybe, who knows. But yeah, so we talked about at one point we projected who's going to make the team, and so I'm not sure if we can see this, but on the left here was our projections, and on the right is who actually is on the team. And then I have way to the right the practice squad. And I think at one point we were going to talk about who we thought, but we've kind of met so infrequently. But are there any surprises on the final rosters? I know that we all talked about like Max Brosmer is probably going to make the team, and we thought Sam Howell was going to be the backup. We thought it was like set in stone, but that was definitely not the case because it looks like he struggled in preseason and struggled in camp and stuff. So they weren't confident with him. So they went off and they got Carson Wentz. So that's kind of surprising to me.
Honestly, I can't believe they got anything for Sam Howell myself. I was always just saying, hey, just take your cut now instead of taking the cut down the road and losing games. So they made a good decision to get rid of him and actually got something for him. I didn't think they would get anything.
Was it a 6th rounder? I think they've been trading that thing back and forth like
yeah.
for the past 2 years.
Kicking it around.
Did we lose somebody?
Yeah, where'd Tom go?
Well, talking about Max, it seems to me one of our podcasts, and I was thinking maybe when we did pick the roster here, I commented that Max would be the backup quarterback. We kind of went over it, and we thought it was going to be, at first was Sam Howell, Ripid, and Max, And I said that Ripid, if anything, going to be put on the practice squad, and we were going to keep Max on the 53. And I even predicted that he was going to be the backup. And way it sounds, coming Monday night, there's a possibility Max could be the backup because it was put out that win, so I got about like 20% or 20, something like that of the, the playboy.
And then it makes sense. I think Max Rosner do just fine if he had to step in.
I do too. So, but the way everybody talked, they say Carson is pretty sharp and he's got a strong arm and whatever. We'll see how it flies.
Well, when he's with KOC, the quarterback whisperer, hopefully, he made Sam Darnold some money. But yeah, so we also when we kind of talked about who was going to make the roster, we only had 2 running backs, halfbacks on the roster, but they kept 4. We thought Ty Chandler was gone for sure. I myself thought he was gone for sure. So I don't know what he must have some special teams value. Other than returning kickoffs, I don't know what else he brings to the team.
That was a question I brought up because they were talking about one time about having a bigger body back there because you got 2 returners now.
I look at it, he's holding the spot for CJ Ham.
Well, that could be.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not sure. I think that's what they're doing is he's kind of probably holding that spot right now too.
Okay, now who did they had to release somebody, didn't they, when they signed Adam Thielen?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was, but I think then they ended up landing on the practice squad.
Well, it's kind of hard to tell. I
can't remember who it was. It might have been like Lucky Jackson or I could look it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't remember who it was either. But speaking of running backs, Xavier Scott, I thought he did a damn good job during preseason. I'm glad that they kept him on the 53.
Yeah, otherwise they would have lost him.
There he's back again.
I'm back.
So did that new router cut out on you already?
It dropped. The wind picked up crazy high here, and all of a sudden it just dropped it.
Really?
And so
Tim Jones was the player that they cut to make room for Adam Thielen.
That's right. That's right. Now I remember. Thank you.
Well, it's a day late and $1 short.
Well,
but I was surprised with the roster, how many undrafted free agents they actually added, kept on it. That's pretty darn good.
7 or 8, I think it was.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty high numbers.
Yes.
Not a question.
The one question I have, though, they only kept 4 cornerbacks.
So, yeah, right now that's where they're at. And, as far as cornerback, they may pick somebody else up here after this first week because then they don't have to guarantee the contracts if they pick up a veteran after the first week. With any veteran on 4+ year veteran on the roster after the first week, or as of the first week is on there, they get their contracts guaranteed. So they still may go out and find another veteran cornerback after this first week.
Anybody out there that kind of you think they might be looking at?
I don't know because there was out there. Who's out there right now? Stephon Gilmore and.
Well, yeah, he was cut by the Seahawks. He was on the team last year, opposite there of Gilmore. What was his name again? Brain fart,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Let's see here if we can. Griffin, yeah.
Is it Shaquille? I know he has a brother who only had one hand. I don't know why I remember that, but
is it No, it's well, you might be right, but that
Yeah, I
Chad,
think it is
yeah, it's something
Shaq.
like that.
Shaq. I think it's Shaq Griffin, which would be Shaquille. Shaq
Yeah.
Griffin.
Yeah. So he was on the Vikings last year. So one of them two, they might bring him back. Yeah. I mean, just for
Well, then too, I heard who the hell was it that cut a corner? Or was he more of a safety? I think he was more of a safety. He'd been in the league for a while, pretty good player too, but he got cut. Now the question is his character, I guess, is what was brought up, what I heard. So anyway, it was one of what I heard, the option for the Vikings to pick up, if he hasn't already been grabbed.
yeah, I'd prefer somebody else though. I mean, like I said, at the end of the season last year, especially against the Rams in the playoffs, I don't know if it was the defensive game plan or what, but the corners struggled for sure. The whole defensive backfield struggled.
Yeah. And again, that's goes on with the offense has got to stay on the field too.
Yeah, because the defense was getting worn out. Didn't they start playing all right the first part of the game last year?
Well, yeah, it started out fine, but then like what happened is then like the Rams, especially on offense, they started doing the ball control, quick passing game, so like the pressure couldn't get to Stafford, and then they were just throwing all over Phil pretty much.
Yeah. And like that playoff game with the Eagles.
Yeah, went up 7-0 and then ended up getting chased out of the building pretty much.
Yep. The defense was so tired, the offense couldn't stay on the field.
I guess in terms of the roster, we got Chaz on the team, Chaz Chambliss. I mean, I think you gotta say like Chaz Chambly, like you're like French. Enchanté, man. So, I don't know. Is there anything else that pops up when you're looking at the final roster?
I don't
Any
know.
other
The
thoughts?
bottom line is I'm impressed that the rookie undrafted free agents made the team.
Yeah, so that means they did some good scout work to get those guys,
Why can't they do something like that with the draft? Because if you take a look at it, Chandler and, geez, gosh, I wish I quit having these brain farts. The receiver that hurt his hand, Naylor, they're the only two left on the roster from that draft pick.
From the first Wasey draft?
Yeah, I think so.
Well, I mean, I think it might be a positive though, right? I mean, like, because back in the Rick Spielman days, they'd hold on to those draft picks. They wouldn't cut them, even if they weren't up to snuff.
Right.
I mean, so at least they recognize their mistakes and they move on.
Yes.
I think that's a positive.
Yes. Big time. That's definitely a difference for the Vikings for sure.
Well, the only one left on the roster from Spillman, Simmer age, is Harrison Smith.
And so Anthony Barr just retired. We didn't have that on the talking points, but that was kind of interesting.
Yep.
Yeah.
Retired as a Viking.
Yeah, I was surprised seeing that. That kind of was going through the YouTube and it popped up, the retirement speech. So I went to the Vikings YouTube channel and got to hear the whole thing, so I was surprised.
And then Eric Kendricks introduced him too.
Yeah.
So obviously, if he retires, he's going to retire as a Viking, I'm assuming.
I would say that's a pretty good guess.
That's what Thielen said at his press conference after he got here. He said that he didn't expect talking to the reporters till when he came and signed a one-day contract to retire as a Vikings, So, anyways, he made it like him and his family are glad they're back in Minnesota. Which, when he left, there was that deal about his wife on Twitter making us stink about how, Adam was being treated or whatever the deal,
Back before he signed with the Panthers.
Yeah.
Well, he I guess, bet on himself, got a hefty paycheck, and then decided the grass isn't greener on the other side.
He came back, took a $6 million cut.
Well, that's a good thing, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, just shows his, dedication to it. So,
Oh yeah.
no, there's definitely. I'm happy that he's back.
Yeah, me too. Considering the way everybody talking about, this is what gets me about some of the fellow podcasters out there. They make a big deal about the rookies. Like who they intend to have for the punt return. What's his name? Yeah, Price.
Yeah.
Well, they're talking about he's a rookie. They need to find nothing else. Sign Powell, and then they brought up Marcus Sherrill. And the thing is, hey guys, Marcus Sherrill was a rookie when he went out there, started receiving punts. And same with Chandler. They were talking about what's his name, that receiver that they drafted,
By Felton.
yeah, being back there as a kick returner. Chandler started out as a rookie.
Yeah.
This really gets me. Yeah.
And
So-
I definitely would rather, have Miles Price out there versus Adam Thielen. I mean, he's great and everything. He's 35 years old. We don't need him getting pummeled. We need him out there as a receiver, during
Right.
the regular
right.
part of the game. We don't need him out there getting pummeled on.
Well,
Well-
I guess they brought it up to what mentioned Thielen,
Yep.
their possibility for a punt return. But no, my thing is, you got the talking heads about, who they like Price and Felton being rookies and doing this and that. Everybody starts out as a rookie,
Yep. Look at Adrian Peterson.
Yeah.
Well, when all you gotta really focus on is like if you're like a rookie and you're returning punts, I mean that's all you got to focus on. You're not focusing on the rest of the playbook. So I mean you're not giving them too much. I get overwhelming them. But yeah, who brought up Marcus Sherrills? Did somebody actually bring that up as somebody we should sign?
No, it was talking about getting a veteran punt return.
Oh, yeah, they
Yeah.
struggle. I mean, we have struggled
Hmm.
with the punt returns, especially like in the past few years.
Well, yeah,
So-
because we haven't had anybody back there that could run or whatever since Marcus Sherrill. Bottom line,
I mean, it's just catching the punt, even.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
that's
yeah.
a lot of
it's harder. It's harder than what everybody thinks,
Yes, it is.
And the thing is, sure, it's gonna bobble a little bit, Yeah, you want to make sure they have a, firm catch.
Mhm.
Everybody bobbles, even pros. Look at Powell bobbled. Didn't lose the ball, but he even struggled.
Price
Well,
did
there's
it
a
in
number of
college,
times
didn't
where
he?
he costs.
Yeah, I was gonna
What's
say
that?
Price was pretty rough.
Didn't Price do it in college?
Well, yeah, some. I think Philton. There was the other guy on undrafted free agent that came in a rookie, and he played in Texas and also. But I don't know if he's still even on the practice squad or anything. Or is he? I'm trying to remember who they all got in the receiver room now. So
Yeah, the
Yeah.
kind of. I can't remember who you're talking. I don't think he made the team.
no,
He was
I'm
cut
thinking
altogether.
that yeah, and he went to some other team or whatever.
I think
Practice
Price
squad.
did a good job in preseason.
Yeah,
Well, he had a good kick return, didn't he? Or was it a punt return?
Yep.
Like
Punt
a 60 or
return.
70 yarder. Yeah. And he returned, says 23 punts in college.
Yeah.
So, I mean, has experience.
All right.
And again, he looks more explosive than what we had in the past.
right.
Yeah, he did have the bobble, but it's going to happen here time to time.
But yeah, so Adam Thielen, and he is listed as second, the second.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't want him out there doing that. I want him as a receiver position. He knows, the playbook.
But we were kind of excited about having him possibly be on the team. So I think we talked about that in our last podcast. We wanted somebody, and I think I was pretty happy to see it was him, and he actually took a pay cut, that you said, John. So hopefully with Addison out for the first 4 weeks, he makes an impact. Going to be kind of like Chris Carter back in the day, back when Randy Moss came on, and he played till 2000, 2001. I can't remember exactly, but towards the end of his career, and he was in his 30s and still getting 1,000 yards. And it wasn't too long ago in 2023, Thielen had 1,000-yard season. So hopefully he gets at least 600, 700 yards and can get 6 or 7 touchdowns. That's what I'm projecting for him anyways.
He was always faithful in the end zone for sure.
Well, that's the main thing. He's a well-established route runner, and he knows how to get into open areas. And even if he's only 10 or between 10, 15 yards away, he's sure-handed.
So hopefully all he does is catch touchdowns. Remember that was the old saying for Chris Carter? All he does is catch touchdowns?
Yep.
I think that's what Buddy Ryan said back when they cut him. He does catch touchdowns. Why do we need somebody to catch touchdowns? So we talked about it a little bit earlier too, how they weren't satisfied with Howell's progress in the offense and in the preseason. So they cut ties with him and kept Max, and then they signed Carson Wentz.
Yeah, happy with that.
Yeah.
And what? I mean, he was 2017 when he hurt his knee. I mean, he was kind of in the running for MVP.
Yeah, he was at that time. He definitely was.
And so I kind of mentioned it earlier about the quarterback whisper, but hopefully KOC has some positive effects on him.
Well, he was a backup for Kansas City, and he also was a backup for the Rams too. KOC said at one of his conference that when he was talking to Wentz about, O'Connell's playbook, but don't throw away what you learned under Andy Reid or with McVay. So anyways, so that's a plus there, So.
Yeah.
And he also, started out good when he was with the Eagles, when he that year he got hurt. He's the one that basically got him to the playoffs. So
he was
confident with him, and that's what I was going to say. I'm more confident in him as a backup than Howell, because against second and third teams in the preseason, he wasn't doing what he should be doing.
No. John and I were pretty sure we watched that one together, didn't we, John?
Yeah.
That was rough. Very rough.
Which they did a weird thing where weren't they trading like series? I mean, most of the time they cut you get a half and the other guy gets the half. If they were doing, which could have thrown off the rhythm and stuff of the, but again, he needs to play. Need to make plays when you're in there. That's what a backup does. Maybe they were trying to simulate that, where, okay, now you don't get the rhythm, now you got to come in cold, kind of. But yeah,
I thought they swapped
put Rosmer all over. They put Rosmer all over, and he did just fine.
Yeah, which in a year or two, he's going to work his way into being the backup, and just keep our fingers crossed that McCarthy stays healthy.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm wagering by next year, Mac's going to be the backup quarterback.
Yeah, he's not going to sit around for long being on the back burner, I don't think. Rosmer? But you know what I mean. Backup.
Yeah.
He's going to want to be starter, I think, personally.
I don't know. All depends, if there's a openings out there a couple years down the road for a starter, and
yeah.
Then again, it all depends how many games he gets in. So
Yeah, we'll have to see how it goes this year.
Well, he's signed for 3 years, so we got
Yeah.
that. So,
Yep.
but again, I kind of talked about hopefully McCarthy stays healthy, but we have some injuries that we heard some positive news today. Van Ginkel has been, previously was not practicing, but he's been full participant at practice. Harrison Smith, though, was some mystery illness or mystery personal issue. Hasn't been around for the last couple of weeks. He did practice today or was in walkthroughs. So
Did they ever say what his illness was? I don't think I ever caught it.
no, still haven't said it. It must be. I mean, I don't even know if it's like, is it cancer? I mean, is it something like that? I mean, who knows? But I mean, it sounds like
Yeah.
they're confident he'll be ready either hopefully week 1, but at least week 2, since he's kind of been through walkthroughs and stuff.
Yeah, he's definitely a valuable player for us. How much longer
Yeah.
we think, how many more years he's going to put in for us, but definitely grateful for everyone that he can.
And they have him listed game status as doubtful. So again, that's not out. It's just doubtful. But then they have Xavier Scott, Elijah Williams out for sure. And then, Harrison Smith doubtful, and Christian Darrisaw is questionable. Which, do you think he's playing?
I don't know. If they have any questions on him, I wouldn't play him.
Well, the thing is, the reports, even from O'Connell, is saying that, Darrisaw is basically ready to play. He can play, but they're also looking at, all right, because he's basically ahead of time, the time frame, to get out there, because talking about how surprised that he was out there, what was it, the last 2 weeks of training camp? He wasn't getting all the reps. Started out a few reps here and there, then he was more and more. And the one day he practiced, full practice. But they're also looking at the 17-game schedule. Do they want to try to play it smart with him?
Yeah, you'd think with the knee they wouldn't.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's frustrating? He's a great tackle, a good tackle when he's in the game, but he hasn't played a full season, a full 16, 17 game season in his whole career.
Oh, I guess I never realized that. That's crazy.
Yeah, no. So like his first season, I think he got hurt towards the end, and they both happened
or something like that.
I think they were both knee injuries back in his rookie year, towards the end of the season, and then towards the end of the season last year. Well, I guess halfway through.
Well, the game the Rams game is where he ended up with the ACL injury.
Yeah, and I think wasn't it like last seconds of the before half? I think it was last few seconds before half, where they didn't even need to do it, and he would have been fine if they would have just ran the ball out or took a knee.
Yeah.
But we have Jalen Naylor and Andrew Van Ginkel. They're going to be playing, so that's a positive. And then the rest of like the Chicago Bears injury report, their linebacker doubtful, cornerbacks, a couple of cornerbacks are questionable, and then they have a running back that's questionable, but everybody else is full participant in practice.
What about that cornerback for him?
Yeah, like I thought it was a hamstring or something like that, but
yeah, they had it down before today, hamstring and groin.
Yeah, they got groin down there for him.
Was it Jalen Johnson?
Somebody,
I heard him.
That.
I heard somebody.
No, not the running back, but he played the cornerback or something.
Yeah, no, Jalen Johnson or Josh Blackwell.
Okay, yeah.
But one of them was talking kind of like, how they talk, and then they were joking that like he's talking all this smack or whatever, and like might not even play.
Going back to Ben Ginkel. Originally, he was not practicing or whatever toward the end there in training camp, and that was because something to do with his foot.
Yeah, I think it was a carryover from his injury from when he was with the Dolphins, wasn't it?
Yeah, when he signed last year, remember they talked about his foot? Well, anyways, then they put down that is his neck. So that's kind of funny from foot to neck, unless it was somebody assumed that it was his foot and then finally found out he, have a neck issue or something.
Yeah,
And who knows? I mean, who knows? I mean, they might have just put neck. I mean, right? I mean, there's some shady stuff sometimes with the injury report. Bill Belichick used to be famous for that when he was with the Patriots. But let's move on. So there's been 2 games so far: the Eagles and the Cowboys in the Spitgate game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Entertaining for the season.
They'll change that to Hawk too.
Gotta spit on that thing.
A gluey. A gluey. Why would you trying to clear your visor off?
A gentleman doesn't spit. No farmer blow either. Yeah, so the Eagles won. I don't know if that was,
But it was
that's
a
not
close
surprising to
game,
me.
wasn't it? Wasn't it like 23-20 or something like that?
I think it was 28 to 24, maybe.
Yeah,
Hold on.
something like
I don't
that.
have
It
it
was
up. So you're saying there was a chance? Well, especially with
always
the Cowboys, any given Sunday, or Thursday, or Friday, or Saturday, or Sunday.
Yeah.
Well, even with so the Cowboys traded what's his face to the Packers. The Green Bay
now the
Packers.
Packers are really, we're going to get the division now because we got this fantastic edge rusher from the Cowboys. Yeah.
he sure did a good number for the Cowboys. Got him places, didn't he?
Well, then come to find out, supposedly, he was holding out in Dallas, wasn't practicing because of an injury.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
injured, and they're talking
Yeah.
about that. Did they talked about injecting him, giving him a
Epidural.
epidural
Yeah,
when they're having a baby.
I was gonna say, is he in his 3rd trimester?
Yeah.
The kicker, though, Jerry Jones said that he had an injury. That's why he didn't want to sign this big contract with him. Everybody thought Jerry Jones was blowing a lot of hot air like he usually does, But here it comes out that, he hasn't practiced because back issues, and they're talking about giving him the injection so he could play. But I think he's doubtful for tomorrow.
Yeah, they were giving him steroid injections down there in Dallas. So now you're talking about. I mean, why would you? I mean, if you got to give somebody an injection for the pain, there's no reason you're putting them on the field, especially when you paid them that damn much money.
yeah.
Well, maybe that's why he wants the money, because he goes out there and gets laid out, and that's it. End of his career, but
he got a big chunk of that
guaranteed money.
Yeah, he's got that huge chunk of guaranteed money, regardless of what happens.
$188 million contract.
Well, he probably had an epidural before the physical. Didn't say anything. I just don't. I mean, I hope it works out for him because they put so much into it. But if it don't, it's just absolutely.
Yeah, but the Packers are state-owned. Where the hell the money coming from? Wisconsin
they're not.
is broke.
I got to look at that. That it sounds like a pyramid scheme to me.
I'll tell you what.
No, okay.
You do this, you'll make money. But
no, I'm just joking. Supposedly the public owns the team, but there's got to be a majority owner. They're only selling stocks.
Yeah, no way.
They're not sending out a voting thing to who they're going to pick up and who they're going to release to the public. So.
Well,
Carl
they got to run it like a team organization, a business, so they got to have these guys in there to make all these decisions, That's why
I
they
would have
call
not.
them general managers.
Regardless, I would not have guaranteed that much money with an injury, a known injury.
Yep.
So what does that show you though about the Packers and what they thought about their team going into the season to make a drastic move like this?
Well, Kenny Clark, What?
And he gave the Vikings issues in the past,
Yeah.
but he's older now, getting along in the tooth.
So we got a couple of them guys that we just signed here to play on the line, D line, in the middle, So
Well, I guess either
But-
way, like any team, any year is making a gamble on their players, right?
yeah,
But still,
But they
that's a big
definitely
gamble.
saw something in the division where they felt they needed to get a big time player in.
well, right now they're thinking they're going to top the division because they traded for this guy. How can one player make a difference, especially on defense?
And I don't think we said his name. It's Micah Parsons. But yeah, well,
I've
they
never
did
seen.
back in. What were you gonna say?
Well, I can't say I remember personally seeing him play.
I mean, I've never been too impressed with him. I mean, he's been a decent player, but I mean, he's not the reincarnation of Reggie White back in the days when they signed him. When he
Actually,
got,
doesn't Greenard have better stats than he does?
I
Bernard?
think so. He's up there with them anyways.
yeah, so he had 12 sacks last year, 14 sacks in 2023. Micah Parsons did.
Well, to be honest with you, he's got to have somebody that's playing well on the defensive line that's drawing attention so he can get in there, So on the Cowboys team, who was he playing with? Because there was some talk about, I don't know. It's just crazy. My point is how, well, Packer fans, just like us, we're Vikings fans and we get excited over this player, that player. Yeah, but I mean, we don't get to the point that one player is gonna shoot us over the moon, even though Spillman thought of that when he signed Kirk Cousins the first time any player got a full guaranteed contract. Or even a guaranteed money.
Well, and I think, yeah, we kind of got excited like back then, and we thought, based on the 2017 season, that they were just a quarterback away.
Yeah.
Turned out the defense was aging, and
Yeah.
the offense was kind of behind the times as far as like how an offense in the 2020s is supposed to operate.
Yeah.
Too much 22 personnel and not enough play action and not enough passing, not enough getting people in the ball in space, kind of stuff like that, where they were just kind of just behind the times on both sides of the ball.
Yeah.
So if you look at Grenard, he had in 2023 he had 12.5 sacks, and then last year he had 12. So I mean, your comparison, look at the contract difference.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I don't know what the Packers fans are all excited about. I mean, he's not a generational player. He's a good player, Micah Parsons is, but I'm not worried.
Yeah, no, and I know we Tom and I were at Thomas's football game the other night, and we had a couple of Packer fans sitting behind us, and they were talking about, and they're like, "Oh, either we're going to have really good, or it's going to be a total bust," because they were worried about the injury themselves.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. But I mean, I'm glad to
They
hear
still
that.
couldn't Yeah, they still
Very
couldn't believe they did it.
Yeah, and they were pissed about Clark going.
Well, you can't have both, I guess, according. Well, they
I did-
probably did that to entice Jerry Jones by giving up 2 first-rounders, though.
Yeah, on top of it.
And then the player. And then paying that much money for this player. That's
All a
again, I don't-
gamble.
And this isn't well, we kind of got off topic. We were talking about the
Yeah.
Eagles and the Cowboys and the games so far this season, but I mean, we're gonna kind of talk about predictions, and maybe we can talk about because I think the Packers play the Lions this week, right?
Yeah.
But let's just so the Chargers beat the Chiefs also in the second game. That was this last night. which is weird. I'm not sure. It was in Brazil, I think. But why
Yeah.
a Friday night game? I mean, what? I don't. What's it? Why do they have to do it on Friday?
That's the way it was last year. That's the way it was last year.
Well, I guess maybe they can't play the same day the soccer teams play.
Probably something like that. Probably.
But the Chargers won. I think it was one like they broke a streak of like the Chiefs winning so many one-score games in a row. So, which I'm tired of the Chiefs, especially Kelsey and Taylor Swift.
Oh yeah, me too. I'm sick of that too. And then, but it sounds like Herbert just didn't act like it was a big deal at all. Really, he was just, just one of the games we needed to win. And I think the reporter was trying to get him to say a lot more than what he really wanted to say about it.
Yeah, they really wanted to spin it a certain way.
Yeah.
Well, I think the thing is the fact something about 3 touchdowns. So that's what I read. The headline was about the 3 touchdowns that he, I guess, threw. In order for him to be referenced to the touchdowns. So,
well, I had him on my bench in fantasy, so I lost out on 30 points.
Oh no!
That stinks. So we'll see how the rest of the games go. Hopefully, I did get 10 points from Ladd McConkey, though, the receiver for the Chargers. But all right, so let's go on to our prediction for the Vikings-Bears game. What are our thoughts?
I think they'll win.
I think the Vikings will take it. I know it's usually going down to Chicago a lot of times, and it seems to be an Achilles heel for us.
Yeah,
I think we'll take it with the team they have set up right now. I think they'll definitely walk away with a W on it.
I predict the Vikings to win 21.
So I think the biggest issue is always the turf in Chicago at Soldiers Field. And so they just had the weekend before last, they just had like 5 events over the weekend. So they have to
some
put
big
in new sod
or something.
So they had to put in, a bunch of stuff there. So they had to put in new sod. So, and it's a multi-billion-dollar corporation, the NFL is, and you're planning these activities, and you're planting or putting in new sod a week ahead of a game of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, that doesn't make any sense.
Well, I guess they want shiny green field to play on.
Well, hopefully we'll see what happens. I mean, but I'm just worried about the playing surface and about knees and stuff. So,
hope they wear the right thing.
But also, so it didn't seem like the Ben Johnson, the offensive coordinator that came over from the Lions to the Bears, is now the head coach. It doesn't seem like he was too confident in Caleb Williams, the quarterback for the Bears, over the preseason. So hopefully that kind of proves to be true and that he struggles against the Vikings pressure.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing they say. He has a hard time under pressure for sure. That's kind of his Achilles heel, is any type of pressure.
Well, the thing too is Ben Johnson has all this motion going on, pre-snap and all that, and something was said. What's her name? That used to cover the Vikings for ESPN now in Chicago. She mentioned something about the motion in that, and Caleb Williams got confused on which, like the receiver, which one he was supposed to, pick as read one and so forth, So maybe the Vikings defense can be showing enough rowdiness and bearing their fangs that they're going to get him, that shakes him up. And so he forgets who's who in the zoo on his, motion and all that stuff, right?
Yes. Courtney Cronin is who you're talking about. Yeah, the Vikings. She must be on the beat for the Vikings and was on like the Vikings YouTube media quite a bit. But their offense, it's a lot of window dressing, a lot of, like you said, motion, it's not progressions. They're not reading. It's a quarterback doesn't have to read through so many progressions. They're basically running a certain type of play. It's almost like you're running a screen pass almost on every play. Where there's not, I mean, sometimes there is a fire route, right? So like if like your screen pass isn't going to work, you have a backup route. Most of the Ben Johnson's plays are doing a whole bunch of moving, a whole bunch of stuff just for one play to try and get somebody in space and get the ball in their hands pretty much right away or quickly. I don't like that. I mean, and it's kind of like the Rams offense too. And that's what the Vikings struggle with is that type of offense. And it seems like Flores has struggled with it calling against those type of offenses like with the Lions and with the Rams. So those are pretty much the teams that beat the Vikings last year.
Yeah.
So there is something to be worried about as far as that goes. But I still think it's going to be a low scoring game. And I think the Vikings will pull it out though, maybe 20-17.
That's what the normal prediction is, that the Vikings will win by like 20-17.
Well, I mean, this is
whatever.
McCarthy's first regular season game of his career. A lot of people stepped on your toes. What were you going to say? I said I stepped on your toes.
Hopefully we see something good out of McCarthy.
We have to see something good out of McCarthy.
But the thing is, he doesn't have to throw for. He doesn't have to throw for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns.
No.
Yeah.
No, if he can throw at least 250 or between 250 300, he'd be awesome, you know. But
that'd be
I don't think he's going to throw any 40, 50-yard bombers unless it's a real open route, you know.
Well, I think if there's a 2nd and 2 and they're on the 40-yard line, they might let one go.
Yeah.
Which that's what you should do. You need to stretch the defense every once in a while. Well, they're not. Yeah. So everyone going for the Vikings.
Yep.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Definitely.
That shows we are Vikings fans.
And are the Packers going to beat the Lions? The Green Bay Packers.
No, the thing is, what I'm worried about, if the Packers beat the Lions tomorrow, they're going to put their eggs on this Parson fella, and they're going to be greatly disappointed. That's if he plays. But he might play, but end up he'll have to have, for next week, a double dose. Yeah. You know, them kind of shots.
The steroid injection pretty much back in the day when they used to inject it in the knees at halftime.
Yeah. Oh, now they're talking epidural. I mean, that's a completely different animal.
Yeah, so they're numbing his back just so he can play. So it's got to be some type of ruptured disc or something like that.
Think of it as nerves.
Much pain. Well, they said that he was back injury or something, L4 and 5. And boy, those
get beat up some more. That's insane.
And that's the middle of your back. I mean,
yeah, he's got to 120 million, regardless of what he does at this point.
A lot of them spend a lot of money though, compared to a daily individual. They blow a lot of money.
But
yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, it really depends on how the coaches are doing with the Lions. They lost. They lost their 2 main ones there. So
Lions usually put up a good fight though.
Well, the Packers, looking at the probabilities here, I'm like off from ESPN, or is it CBS? I don't know, but they're at a 55% probability of winning because they're at home. And I can't remember the last season the Vikings opened up at home, which is kind of, I'm not, I don't know, disappointed in the schedule makers, I guess. But it's been a while. It seems like every season I remember they've opened up on the road. Can't remember last time.
Well, the first year that O'Connell was here, they opened up at Bank Stadium against the Packers, if I'm not mistaken. It seems to me. I could be wrong.
I think you're right. I think they did start at home.
Yeah, I won't worry about looking it up. You don't need a. It's just been a while. But again, So so Packers Lions?
The Lions
just wanna
didn't really
laugh.
lose any big names, did they?
I think there's
Well, and they lost their center. He retired, and there was talk about whoever's going to be center. And then there was another lineman, I guess, that either hurt or retired. I think more on the line of injury, or with that Chicago I'm thinking of. But anyways, there was talk about their old line, a couple players they have to juggle around, but they figure that not gonna be such a big drop off on O-line performance, I guess.
How about their defense?
Defense, they got all their players back healthy from last year.
I'll probably have to go with the Lions. I'll still go with the Lions on this one.
I think I'm gonna go with the Lions. Parsons not gonna make any difference. The Packers, if the Lions defense, don't have anybody out or whatever, they got all their ace players back, from injury from last year. I don't.
Yeah, it's gonna make a difference. They drafted that wide receiver in the first round again. It seems like all they do is draft second string receivers in the first round. But other than that, I'm not sure if they added much. It's just it depends on, I guess, Jordan Love, if he's progressed any over to the last season. And they were all excited about him I think 2 years ago because he was playing pretty well. But then he kind of took a step back last year. And I think he is who he is last year. I mean, that's the player he is. So,
well, didn't he get injured in Brazil last year on their opener? I think he was hurt.
Yeah, he might have.
Yeah, because he was kind of hobbing out there when the Vikings first played the Packers.
Where they were up by like 30 points and then almost lost the game.
Yeah, one of them. Yeah, it was. Love was kind of hobbling around out there. He wasn't fully 100%, but I guess what's his name? The coach, LaFleur or how you pronounce it? But anyways, that's the game where he was getting all pissed off because the Vikings were ahead, And in fact, he threw his iPad or something. He was looking at it. Then he picked it up and went off in the way on the sideline, sitting down, going over whatever on the iPad, Then that's when they start.
I just remember
I think
Tom
so.
Brady and back in the day, Tom Brady and Peyton Manning used to toss him all over the time, all the time.
Yeah.
Just throwing the tablets. But Matt LaFleur, it's like a silly French name.
Yeah. Anyway.
Wasn't there like a character off of The Simpsons? My name's Guy LaFleur. You may know me from such made-for-TV movies as A Bride and Her Husband. I don't know. I can't remember what. But Lions win the game. I got too many Packer fan friends that I want to watch them suffer. Because they always talk crap to me about the Vikings and Packers, and I never say anything.
Yeah.
But I want to finally say something.
There you go.
There.
Anger and aggression.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts to the start of the season?
No, I think
I can't wait till Monday night. Go Vikings!
And I gotta work the next day, and I'm gonna figure out how I want to stream it because it's on ESPN. I'm assuming so.
Yeah, Monday football is.
I got the Hulu package, so I can watch it.
So what? You can watch it.
Yeah, we got Hulu too.
But I was worried because like the last couple of years before I had that, I hadn't been able to watch any of the games that weren't on CBS or Fox.
Yeah, this whole app shit is getting out of hand.
Yeah, I got the ESPN app, I got the Amazon Prime because that's Thursday nights. You can watch on ESPN, but I have the antenna that's broken, so I can't move it. It's just in the one position, so it depends on the channel. I can't tune into it depending on which way the wind's blowing.
Yeah,
So,
I don't even have the antennas. It's on the roof. I guess I can go up there on the roof. And I remember when they played against the Eagles, I went up on the rooftop in February. So I moved it because it wasn't coming in.
I
But
can't even get up. Well, I can get up on the roof, but I can't stand up and walk around on the roof anymore like I used to. And it was like, to me, it seemed like it was only a couple years ago I was able to walk around on the roof. But I take that back, 3 years ago. I tried to do that last year. I stood up and I go, wait a minute.
you were doing up there? Why'd I even come up? Like when you walk from one room to the next to get something and forget what you went in there for? You went on the roof and forgot that.
What I'm here after,
Hopefully,
some-timers.
Some-timers? Sundowners?
Some-timer.
But yeah, no. So I think the season is gonna depend on how JJ McCarthy performs. And again, he doesn't have to throw for 6,000 yards. He can just, manage the game.
That's right. The thing is, rely on his teammate.
He couldn't ask for a better weapons on the field now than what he's got.
Right.
Well, if that's it, if nobody else has anything else.
John, you were talking about Cole going down fishing and that. Wait for my newest song I'm putting out. So give it a few days and check my YouTube channel. You know what that one is, don't you? Is Daniel J. Krieger, in parentheses, is music. That's my YouTube channel.
It'll be in the description below.
Anyways, yeah, the title of it, you're not talking about fishing? Anyways.
Is that a double entendre?
It's the titles, and then that's all I'm going to let you know.
Alrighty.
I'm write up the lyrics here. I got them floating around in my head. They're almost lost, so I got to go find them. But yeah, that's where my songs are, if you guys ever want to listen to them.
Okay.
I got all 3 versions of Plastic Jesus, plus the one I kind of put together before the original was put out. So
I won't share mine with the world. They're not ready for it.
come on. Yeah.
So the Vikings are going to win. Skol Vikings, let's win the game. Packers are going to lose, so the world will be set right again.
Good. Well, be back after the first game. And
yeah, we'll see everybody next time.
Yeah.
And I'm going to do my best to get this up tomorrow ahead of the game.
Yeah, be awesome. All right, guys, you have a good one. You know what we had for supper, and I'm going to have to heat it up? Prime rib roast.
There you go.
Anybody that likes that cheesy potato, you can have it. And then, of course, green beans. But so that's what I'm going to be doing here for the next half hour.
Yeah.
Make the Buddha belly bigger than what it is now. Yeah, and I'm going to give you a call later.
okay.
So anyways, love you guys. Thanks for coming.
Love you too.
We'd like and subscribe. If you want to join us for an episode, the link to the email to join us will be in the description below. And with that, we'll see you next week.
Bye, y'all.
All bikes.